these books were banging. They were banging. They were banging. I went in blind and I had no idea that I was going to get a psychopath. None. She never did the nasty, so she walked in as a virgin. But when she left, she wasn't one. Hi wonderful people and welcome back to my channel Book Craves. I'm Giselle. How are you? What's up? What's the scene, y'all? I am so excited to talk about these books. I am so excited to share these books with you. Now, I don't know if you have read them, but these books released in May, and I must say, I love them. These, y'all? All of these books are written by authors of color. First of all, some of these books are interracial romances or they may be Black love romances. I've just been loving those lately. If you want to see what books that I have been loving, particularly books written by BIPOC authors, then keep watching my video. All of these books have a Black heroine. Some, I believe, 2 are Black love romances and the others are interracial romances. Not all of them are bwwm. I have one bwwm, and that is Black woman and Hispanic man. Y'all know how I rock and roll. Most of these books were released in the month of May, and there was no way that I could not read it. Some of them I received advanced readers copies for, others I downloaded on release date. Takeoff. I reread this book in May. I read it back when it was released. Because Friend Zone is releasing in June, I'm like, you know what? Let me reread Takeoff. I remembered why I enjoyed this book so much. I once again fell head over heels for Colt and Vicky. Oh my goodness, Colton. I love this man, but let's get into the story. So in Takeoff, Colt, he is an athlete. He is a basketball player. He is from Alabama and he was drafted into the NBA. He's also a single dad and he hasn't had much luck with, finding a significant other. Like, everyone wants him, but they don't want the fact that he has a child until he meets Vicky. However, Vicky don't date white guys. She also don't date single dads because of the baggage. Not because she has anything against kids. It's just that these are things that she's never ever looking for in a partner. But Colt was very persistent. Colt wore her down. And Vicky, she's a very strong woman. She's very independent. She knows exactly what she wants and what she's not going to stand for, which I absolutely love. But I love Colt more. He just had that charm to him. He had that sudden charm to him where he's like, you know what? I like you. I like you. And regardless of what you say, I am going to get you. I may have to work a little harder, but I will get you. And you know what? When he finally got her, he messed up. He messed up because why? He was going through a very difficult time in his career. It happens to the best of us, but nevertheless, I still love Colt because you know why? He still didn't give up and he was always pushing her towards her dream. He never once held her back from her pursuing what she wanted to in her career. So I absolutely loved Colt. Trust Me by Tiffany Patterson. Now this is related to this series. So if you haven't read this, then don't even touch this because this is their legacy. If you haven't read the books from the Townsends of William Port's series, then do not touch this book. Trust Me is Aaron's and Patience's legacy. So Aaron and Patience, they had twin and their eldest is Kyle. And so this is Kyle's book. And Kyle is everything like his dad. He is very business savvy. He knows exactly what he wants and he is so focused. He's not going to let anything distract him from his goal. But we have Riley, and Riley is being blackmailed into getting evidence to bring down the Townsend's empire. Like, why would you go up against the Townsends? But she's being blackmailed, and what they have over her, like, let me tell you, I would probably do it, although I know I'm probably walking into my debt. Riley, she is very business savvy as well. She's very smart. However, the way that Riley grew up, she knew how to manipulate people. She knew how to get information and how to get what she wants. And so she implements those skills into trying to get information about Kyle and the nasty dealings that someone assume they are doing. Well,
when Kyle found out,
by that time, he had already started to fall for Riley. So when he found out, you saw the other side of Kyle. You saw the savage side of Kyle. And so we have a marriage of revenge in this book. On top of everything else, all of these books I enjoyed. But this one has a special place in my heart because I love Aaron's patience. Okay? I love this book right here. So there's no way that I wouldn't like this book. Just because, like, we got to meet Kyle when he was really young. If you did not read this, don't read this. Don't read it. But if you did, go pick it up ASAP. I went into Xaviera blind. Now this is your interracial romance. Black woman, white man. I went into this book blind, only knowing that it's an MC romance. Now, if you know, I've read her entire MC series. I've read the entire Twisted series. So I know what I'm going into. I absolutely love Keta Kendric's writing. I love her books. So I went in blind. I also received an advanced copy of this book. I went in blind and I had no idea that I was going to get a psychopath. None. But it's how it was slide in. It wasn't bam in your face, you know. Nope. So in this book, we meet Jada and Xaviera. Jada, she runs a non-profit organization, and her goal is to help kids who have been sexually abused, who have been trafficked. She's all about helping kids. That is what her NGO is focused on. And she's being blackmailed, and they sent an assassin to take her out. The assassin was Xaviera. Xaviera goes and he's observing his mark, and he realized that based on the evidence that was provided to him, it doesn't line up with what he is seeing of her. He's observing her in her natural environment, but nothing is aligning. And he's like, wait, something cannot be right. And then someone tries to take her out while he's still under contract to assassinate her. He goes in, he rescues her, and he takes her back to his MC compound. From there, we get to learn more about Xaviera, because we met Xaviera in this book. Briefly, we met Xaviera there. No one wants to approach Xaviera. No one really talks to Xaviera because of his behavior and what he does. Xaviera had a very traumatic life growing up, which helped to shape him into the individual that he is. There were parts in this book that made me cry. When certain things was revealed, I cried. Like, I bawled my eyes out. There was this intimate scene in the book, and I'm like, oh my goodness, no. Like, the mystery and the action, all of that, yes. Don't even talk about that nail-biting ending. When I tell you, I was biting my nails because I'm like, no, this book cannot end like this. No, this book cannot end like this. I enjoyed this book, from the mystery to the secret society, the assassin, the bikers. I love Jade. I love her personality. Xaviera, he don't say much, but when he speaks, you listen. And I like that. And be mindful of the trigger warnings, please. Be mindful, because some of the things that Xaviera does, easy like Sunday morning, listen, easy like Sunday morning, it did something special for me. It curbed a craving that I had, because I really wanted a book with a church girl and a bad boy, and I got one. I got a book with an innocent church woman and the president of an MC. To be the president of the MC, that means you have to be able to do certain things, right? And this MC, it isn't like any other MC that I've read before. Yes, they do bad things, but when a civilian walks into a bar, into their bar, they better be claimed. They better be claimed, otherwise someone will claim them, or it's a free-for-all, right? So Easy like Sunday morning, we met Easy and Angel. Easy, she grew up with her grandparents, and so certain things was instilled in her. She is a Liberian, and she's living a very mundane life. Like church, family, work, that is it. Until things got shaken up when she accidentally walked into a biker's bar thinking she's going to get help because of what happened to her car. Nope. She walks out there married to the president of the MC. And she's like, she did it because she's like, you know what, let me do it and get it over with. She's never had a tattoo in her life. She never had a tattoo in her life. She walked out with a tattoo. She never did the nasty, so she walked in as a virgin. But when she left, she wasn't one. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Easy like Sunday morning. Listen, I inhale that book. That is one you just sit down and you read in one go. I enjoyed the story. I love the character. I enjoy the characters. This is part of the Blood Legacy series. Book 1 is Bad Guy. It happens in the same town. It's giving small town vibes. The story in Bad Guy is different to the story we get in Easy like Sunday morning. Bad Guy gave you more of a mafia feel. Easy like Sunday morning, MC feel. That's to tell you how different it is, but it's connected because it happens in the small town of Shelby. On top of all of that, in Easy like Sunday morning, we have a surprise pregnancy, which shouldn't really be a surprise given what they were doing, but she did run away from Angel. And that's all the spoilers I'm giving you. This book, it is excitement. It is. I can put it down. I can pause. I'm like, yes, while reading this book. In this book, we meet Hannah and Armando. And Armando, he has just been released from prison after serving 54 months. So he is out. He is trying to get accustomed to freedom, and he's having a very difficult time trying to blend back into society, trying to understand what it means to be free. For him, he is struggling with this, and he feels that he no longer belongs. He is also part of the Italian mafia. And then we have Hannah. She was on her way to becoming a nurse, but she deviated. She has a love for plants. She took over a plant store that usually served people from the mafia. And she gets caught up into a whirlwind of something that she never wanted to. So she's there on her merry way, doing her thing in her store, and Armando walks in, only to realize someone is following him. Someone is trying to take him out. For what? We don't know yet, because this is part of a duet. Hannah, she has employed her best friend. Don't do that. She employed her best friend, and so she's having a very hard time trying to tell her friend, listen, you're not being productive. Her friend is walking all over her. It has a very jaw-dropping cliffhanger that is holding me in suspense. So I need to read part 2. This book was not released this month. But in this book, we also have where, because Armando isn't too sure who is coming after him, and because Hannah saw him unalive someone, he has basically kidnapped her, is holding her captive, and so she can't go anywhere by herself. She cannot do anything by herself. So you have this kind of forced situation that develops between them. Hannah has such bad luck with men, and now she ends up with an ex-felon whom is part of the mafia with a hit out on him. I didn't know what to expect going into this book. I didn't think that I would enjoy it the way that I did, but I was captivated with the fact that, listen, you have a high-ranking mafia member that came back out from prison. Like, who was expecting that? I wasn't expecting that. So I'm like, hey. And because of how he was having that difficult time trying to adjust to his freedom, I was held captive by that as well. I didn't know how he would adjust, but Hannah came along, so I guess he's adjusting fine. The Blood Queen. There is no way that I could not have read The Blood Queen on release day. I read Vampire King in April, and I'm like, when is part 2 going to drop? Part 2 drop. Didn't know part 2 was going to drop this month, but I'm so happy that it was released like about a month apart, or less than a month apart it was released. Did I talk about Vampire King in my April wrap-up? Yes, I spoke about the Vampire King in my April wrap-up in my favorite reads of April, so definitely go check out that video. The Blood Queen. In this book, we have where Camille is coming into knowing her heritage, knowing that she is a blood mage. Now, this is a paranormal romance, and basically we have Xander, whom is the son of the present king. However, the present king is very evil, and Xander, he is coming into his powers as a vampire king. He didn't know that he would turn into a vampire king, or that it's within his bloodline, or anything like that. You have this whole adventure of Camille and Xander figuring out things that are happening, trying to overthrow the king. We have where she assumed that she was going to run away and go back to her family, only to realize that her husband actually sold her because of her blood and what her blood can do. This book has me so excited because I need part 3, a trilogy. In The Blood Queen, we also have where Xander, he is now fully a vampire king. He has fully transitioned into a vampire king, and they're working on getting help. They're working on getting alliances to help overthrow the present evil vampire king. I don't know if someone is going to switch up on them. I have no idea if there'll be betrayal or anything in the 3rd book. I have no idea how it is going to go. But hopefully by then, Camille knows her powers. She would know how to use it. We also have a bit of a MFM situation in this book. I don't know if it's going to continue into book 3, but in book 1 we saw it was just Xander and Camille. In this book we have Xander, Camille, and Ian is the evil king twin. Now that's a lot. Sorry, that is a lot, but there's a lot going on in this book. There's mystery and suspense and adventure going on in this book, and I'm like, oh my god. I think reading this book is bringing back my love for paranormal and fantasy. The Blood Queen, hopefully by mid-June, part 3 will be released, and I'll be able to tell you about it then. Books by Bianca, Xaviera. usually have me in a chokehold. I never knew that I would like this style of books. This is a black love romance, but it's not a black love romance. You have that kind of gangster situation in this book, right? We have those, bad boys in this book. And I never knew that I enjoyed this type of story until I met this author reading her book, Frisco, back in early March. And now I am just devouring her books. So in Can't Hide from Love, we meet Trini and Knowledge. And this book, it is 4 parts. I went through the three books in one night, and then the 4th book I started and I'm like, no, stop, wait until the next day. But this book is centered on those 2 individuals, Trini and Knowledge. Trini is in a relationship with someone who is using her. She cannot see that this person is using her. Her friends are trying to explain to her, yo, he is using you. But no, she's not seeing, she's forgiven and all of that until she meets Knowledge. And Knowledge shows her how she should be treated, how her man should be treating her in a relationship. He shows her everything that she isn't getting. And her boyfriend, he is hooking up with everybody. And then there's this big twist because he ends up on the run for something that he did. Her boyfriend at that time is not a nice person, and I absolutely love Knowledge, he's nice. He had a very traumatic experience when he was younger. He is an assassin, but he also owns a business. So it's like he's bordering on both sides, which I love. And Trini, she's in university. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to focus on in university, but she has like a YouTube channel. She is into skincare and all of that. And it takes Knowledge to show her, listen, this is your potential. This is an idea of what you can do. Like the things he did for her. Oh my goodness. And let me just tell you, book 4, I cried because someone did something so horrific. Because why? One of Knowledge flings just couldn't get over the fact that, listen, I am with someone. I'm in a relationship with someone. Because Knowledge has never been in a relationship with anybody. He was literally stringing women along. He had one for this, one for that, one for the other. But then Trini came and it's like, nope. He ended whatever he had with them and he entered into a relationship and was faithful to Trini. So if you think there's cheating, there's none. There's no cheating whatsoever in this one. Not between Trini and Knowledge. I'm just saying. But we can't speak for Trini X because what he was doing, and oh my goodness, Trini has some really nice friends, but there's one that, but she got what was coming to her, and I didn't like what happened to her, but at least she had her happily ever after. There's so much happening in this book, but if you like juicy, messy drama shenanigans, if you like that, you're going to devour these books back to back. I read a Chaser by Terreece Clarke. I did receive an advanced copy of this book, and it is long. I'm not playing with you. It is long, and it's with a friends with benefits situation. I enjoyed it. I absolutely enjoyed it. There were certain scenes in this book that is like, ma'am. So we have Shyla, she's from a well-known Black family. This is also another Black love romance. So she's from a well-known Black family. However, she wants to do her own thing. She doesn't just want to be grouped together with the same peers. No, she wants to have her own identity, her own businesses, her own successes, separate from her family. To get that, she went through quite a few things in the beginning. Quite a few things she went through when she was younger. She has a trail of men that all wanted something from her, that all did her wrong. And then she meets Xaviera. Xaviera, he's a cowboy. He's also Black, and he is running a successful business. Now, Xavier has a way with words. He have a way of making, he even make me feel special. He has a way of honoring women. The way that he speaks to her, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I love it. I love it. In this book, Shyla, they meet, they come up with this friends with benefits situation. He is having issues with buying back his family land because of something his father did, and he wants to bring back that level of success. I would recommend that you read Heartbeats. If you have not read Heartbeat, you will not understand certain things that happened in Chaser just because it's connected to a sex trafficking ring that was mentioned in Heartbeat. And so Shyla decided to intervene and try to help them in a particular way. I absolutely love this Friends with Benefits. The bantering between Shyla and Xavier, I love it. Now, I'm just going to say, Shyla is not for everyone's taste buds. She can come off very harsh. She can come off very unapologetic. She can also come off as just a B. Okay? She comes off very offstandish. I'm just letting you know. So she's not for everyone's taste buds, but this is just because she has been hurt and she's trying to protect herself. I absolutely love this book. Between both of them, I'm just going to say, I love Xavier. I love this man. I love this man. And I'll leave it as that. I love this man. All of these books, I inhaled in one sitting. There was no pause. If I had to stay up all night, I did that because I could not put down any of these books. All of them are different. Yes. Different vibes, different storyline. Yes. But listen, I just couldn't help myself when it came to these books. These, Did I mention that Easy Like Sunday Morning, it is a Black woman and Hispanic man? Yeah. Yes. Love that. These are some of my most recent reads. Some were released this month. Most were released this month. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you read any of these books and you liked it, comment below because these books were banging. They were banging. Plain and simple. So thank you so much for watching my video and look out until I post another one.